Brothers, we must convene the synod. A Kylon crystal has disturbed the balance. Send forth a prior to deduce its whereabouts and report everything to the Father. Duty, honor, and doctrine compel our sacrifice.
Amen, brother.
The three of you live in the surrounds of Tilverton, and Mars has recently traveled into town with his herd of goats because he needs to sell some of them off at the local marketplace that's been happening. At the moment, he is holed up in the tavern for the evening, and he is sleeping off several Jaegers.
And by sleeping, he means having several more.
You are in bed and you are roused by a noise that's happening outside, when suddenly the walls collapse and in comes a giant ogre roaring at you. Oh!
God! I knew I need an alarm clock. This is ridiculous.
What is your first course of action as the ogre raises its giant club in fear and anger?
Grief, I thought this was a peaceful town.
Oh my.
Well, I think I'll stand up and ask him at least to delay the combat long enough for me to relieve myself in the chamber pot.
So the club swings at you. Just roll a physical check, and the difficulty is 3.
So I'm rolling D6s, and I've got a +1 physical, so I'm rolling 2D6.
Correct.
Trying to get ones.
Correct.
I have a 4 and a 5.
So you and the club slam into the wall, and you take 2 injuries.
Oh, a little bit of pee came out. Oh,
So
God.
you take 2 injuries. That is quite a bad injury.
Good
So as
grief.
you slide down the wall, the ogre just starts smashing more of the room.
This really escalated quickly.
Okay, Pivell,
Yes.
you were out for a late evening stroll, and
As
you're
I like to
walking
do.
down the street, and you see some commotion down an alleyway, and from around the corner come about 8 orcs and 1 massive ogre.
Mommy. And I would say that because my mother was actually a famous adventurer named Gloria Maximus. I am going to hide.
All right, so roll a physical check to try and duck behind a vat that's in the alleyway.
Okay, so I'm rolling D2s, right?
Correct.
And I want to get ones. Okay, I did get 1-1.
Okay, so you successfully duck behind the vat. Now you see the orcs surrounding the edge of the tavern that's up ahead in the alleyway, and the ogre just smashes through the wall in anger. And you see, jumping out of bed, the local goat herd who you've often seen in the tavern drinking Jaegers, being thoroughly smashed against the wall.
Oh, my bladder.
So, Abraheem, you are dozing outside the local tavern when you are rudely awakened by falling shingles off the roof.
So they hit me, and
No, you're just sitting in the street. You just a shingle falls off the roof and hits you on the head.
so it hits me, and I wake up and quickly look around, and what do I see?
So you see a few shapes sort of jostling around near the entrance to the alleyway.
And I'm outside of the tavern?
Correct. You're kind of like dozing by the watering trough for the horses and a couple of goats.
I see these shapes, and I shake my head and think, I must have smoked too much of that grave moss. And I quickly get to my, stand up on my feet, and I try to get a better view of what these shapes are, and kind of like trying to focus in on what I'm actually seeing in the dark here.
Okay. So do a senses check, difficulty 1.
A D2.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get a 1.
Correct.
And I do not.
Okay. So you're unable to make out what these shapes are, but there's a lot of commotion that's happening. You know, it's sort of you're coming out of your smoke haze, and you know there's a lot of loud noise that's starting to happen, and you hear a lot of crashing and screaming. Oz, you need to do an emotion check. So the difficulty is equal to your number of injuries, which is currently 2. So you'll be rolling D4s.
D4s, and I have no bonus on emotion. So I'm rolling 1D4, hoping for a 1.
Correct.
This is basically to not freak the F out, right?
Correct.
Well, we dwarves are known for emotional fortitude, so I did that! Oh, it's a 2.
All right. So you can use a story value to turn that into a 1 if you wish.
It feels non-dwarven to fail an emotion roll, so I'll blow the point.
Okay. So
I shake it off.
you fortify yourself against the rising fear within you, and you see that you know the ogre has got his club stuck in the roofing struts, and he's just trying to get it out. And you sort of think to yourself, what am I going to do? And you look to the big hole in the wall, and you see a way out. And there, behind a vat in the alleyway, is a man you recognize from several drinking sessions in the tavern, which is Pivell.
Must be that spat out little man, Pivell. Claims to be human, but a bit stunted.
And the ogre releases his club from it, and 2 orcs step into the room.
Oh, jeez.
Is the gap between the ogre's legs big enough for a dwarf to go between?
Yes.
Could I slide for home?
Okay. Physical check, difficulty 1.
If you don't make it, you get
great.
teabagged.
Physical difficulty 1. I'm going to take the risk, Scotty.
Don't get teabagged.
There's a sword. I've done it.
So you slide underneath the ogre's legs, and you pop out in the alleyway just as all the orcs are piling into the room you were just in. So you successfully evaded that. However, they obviously saw you do it. Pivell, you see Mars sliding out of the room into the street, hop onto his feet, and is starting to head towards you.
Okay. So how many orcs were in the room? Were there 2?
You would guess about 6.
Oh, geez. Okay. I was thinking maybe of like hamster, stringing one of the ones with sticking my staff, kind of hiding behind the corner, sticking my staff out. But there's so many, I don't know if that's a good idea. How about I grab Mars by the scruff of the neck and kind of drag him into a hiding place?
Okay. So do a physical check.
Okay.
The difficulty is going to be higher, though.
Okay.
Difficulty 2, so D4s.
Okay.
Ooh.
No, I did not make it.
Oh.
So you step out from behind the vat to grab him by the scruff of the neck. and all of the orcs see what that there's now this other person in the alleyway. And the ogre turns and he rips his club through the wall again. It's just bricks and mortar fly everywhere. So Abraheem, you see like a whole lot of bricks and mortar just come flying out of the entrance to the alleyway.
Okay.
I knew this town was going downhill, but this is ridiculous.
So am I, like, what side of this building am I on? Like, if this hole is coming out the back of the leaning am I on that wall that it came out, leaned up against, or around a corner?
They'd be on the south side, you're on the east side.
Okay. So I just see some bricks kind of like flying past there.
And there's like a cloud of mortar dust coming out of the alleyway.
And a feeble human grunt.
Am I on the side of the building where the entrance to the tavern is?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go up to the entrance and I'm just going to crack the door open and peek inside to see what I see there. Just a very slight smile, like very like, carefully, like.
Okay. Yeah. So as you go to the door and you're slowly opening it up, the door bursts open, and a man, quite a well-dressed, noble man, carrying an ornate ivory inlaid box, dashes out into the street, and he turns and he sees you, and he says, "They're coming for me! They're coming for me!" Okay, so Mars, you are now in the alleyway with Pivell, and the 6, 7, 8 orcs are stepping out of the building. They're all brandishing their falchions, and they are heading towards your position at a rapid rate.
Oh, geez.
With Ogre in tow.
I'll announce, I offered you the chance to use the chamber pot. You give me no choice. I'll have to draw the line, as we dwarves say. I'll draw the line in front of me because I can't fight on a full bladder. But that should keep them fighting me instead of Pivell.
All right, so you're attempting to intimidate them, so we'll do an emotion check.
Yes, exactly.
So you have a difficulty of 3.
Ooh, D6s?
Yeah.
On emotion. Ooh, no bonus. So I'm rolling 1D6 going for a 1. Come on, baby. Give me that Cyclops. 3. So I feel my own leg again.
Who got out here?
It's hard to control us.
Pivell. Obviously, your drunken friend has seriously misunderestimated the fighting force of these orcs. What do you wish to do?
Mars, they don't seem very scared. I think we should get out of here.
It's good thinking.
So you hear from down the alleyway someone screaming, "Help! They're trying to get me!"
Oh, okay. So do we see Abraheem?
You do not. You can see out of the alleyway into the street.
Okay.
But it's a darkened street, and the lamplighters have been neglecting their work, and only one of several lights is actually ablaze.
Okay. I am going to. I kind of shoot Mars a glance, like, "Let's get the hell out of here," and run towards that noise. And as I run, I'm yelling, "Fire! Fire! Fire!"
Okay. So, Abraheem, you are now standing in the street, and there's this well-dressed nobleman who has just dashed out of the tavern, and you hear coming from the alleyway around the corner, "Fire! Fire! Fire!" And bursting into the street is Mars and Pivell, who again you recognize as your local drinking partners in this very same tavern.
Do I recognize the well-dressed man in any way?
Roll a mental check.
Nice.
Difficulty.
And what am I rolling for that?
Difficulty 2. D4s.
D4, and if I have a +1,
So you then roll a second.
if I have a
D4.
+1 and I'm rolling 2 D4s.
Correct.
Yep.
I'm looking for a 1.
Correct.
Nope.
Nope.
Ooh.
So you
Oh.
do not recognize this person in any way, shape, or form.
Hey,
but
Scotty
I
and
do
Jeremy.
However,
Players moment.
I'll give you an
Don't forget your story
opportunity
points.
to do
Oh, right.
a perception check, difficulty 2. So a look.
Sorry,
so
say that again.
I'll give you an opportunity to do a senses check, difficulty 2.
Okay. Aha!
So on the man's coat, you notice an insignia, which is for the local librarian guild. So you know that there is
Okay.
quite a large library in Tilverton. So, I mean, you know this, having lived in the town, that there's a very large library, and this must be one of the librarians.
Okay, but I do recognize a friend yelling fire.
Yes.
So I kind of look around back and forth, and my eyes eventually lock on Pivell, and I look at him and I look down the street in the opposite direction, which this librarian-related fellow is running, and I look at Pivell and I'd say, I suppose we run. And I just start running towards him and past him.
Okay. So, Mars, you get rudely thrust out into the street, and you notice your friend Abraheem is there with some guy who's well-dressed, well above your station as a goatherd, and everything is starting to become clear as the cobwebs of your last Jägerdas are starting to disappear in your mind as the adrenaline is forcing it out of your body. You do have a look up the street. Please do a senses check, difficulty 1.
Senses, I have no bonus.
So a single.
So come on,
D6.
baby. Oh, snake. So I fail.
Okay, so you are stumbling out and you see Abraham, who's running towards you, and from behind, Pivell comes out and he's kind of like got you by the scruff and is leading you down the street towards the docks.
Can I pull free and buy them some time by engaging the ogre?
If you wish.
I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I only have a few injuries. I could sustain more.
Hey, Mars, that liquid courage is going to wear off.
All right. Well, let me roll
Don't
my
do
own
it.
personal
Don't do
roll.
it, friend.
On a 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
I'll be foolish and stay. On a 4, 5, 6, I'll listen to Pivell. It's a 5. All right. Then I'm going to get the hell out of here.
Okay, so you are also now heading down to the docks. So all three of you are heading in this direction.
Tiny legs.
The librarian is starting to pull ahead. He's getting in front of you and he's screaming the whole time, "We have to get to the docks! They're coming for me!" And from
Is he the
behind,
guy with the box?
he's got this ornate inlaid
Okay.
box that's inlaid. You can see it, it's under his arm. And he is constantly looking behind himself and is absolutely terrified. And you see in all the buildings as you're going along, the lamps inside are being lit. So the whole street is lighting up like almost like an aircraft runway towards the docks, which is still dark and you can't see anything there. From behind, you hear the orcs and the ogre, and you can all three of you do a census check, difficulty 1.
Nice.
Oh, I got this.
Got it.
I did not.
I got it.
Okay. So, Abraham, you see another 2 ogres coming from different alleyways, stepping into the street and continuing after you.
So they're behind us?
They're behind you now, and they're making chase. And then Mars, you hear a lot more commotion in the streets surrounding, and screams and crying and shrieks of sudden death shrieks. So the town is in a great dilemma at this point.
Gods. Oh, and DM, we were running for the docks, right?
You're running towards the docks, yeah.
And these docks, are these river docks?
You live in the town is in an inlet to a river, and out in the bay is the Tilverton old fortress, which is basically an island where it's all cliff faces. So it's the whole thing is just one circle of cliffs, and on top of that is this old ruined fortress.
And what have we for boats on the docks here, or have we just run out to our graves?
Well, you having never really spent a lot of time in the docks fishing or anything like that, because most of the time you're out in the fields goat herding, you don't know a lot about the docks, because your favorite tavern is behind you being destroyed.
Good God.
Mars, is there anything on your trip to the docks, is there anything you wish to do before you arrive?
God, it seems we're giving up the town, aren't we, gentlemen?
It does seem that way. What else can we do?
Well, if maybe we can save a few innocents, or should we just make for the boats? I
think we got to get out of here.
I'm facing a dilemma here. I'm lawful good.
and let's be clear, under character creation, we have proficiencies in some weapons, but that does not mean we have them.
Correct.
Right. I only have one weapon, right? Well, no, I might have two.
Unless you sleep with the shovel.
I don't even have my trusty shovel. Do I have to erase
No, you
shovel?
do have your shovel. I mean, it's strapped to your back.
It's on my belt. Gee, it's on my belt.
Man, that's
if
tough.
only my mother was here.
Then I'm gonna have to. Is it my go right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to sacrifice whatever time a turn is to at least call out to my townsfolk who I've been drinking and cooking and farming with for years out in the outskirts, and who've showed me such hospitality and introduced me to these fine gentlemen. I at least have to I have to tarry a moment, and I have to say, ye folk of Tilverton, for all the gods, to the docks now, save yourselves, come this way.
All right.
I can't just run. I have to tarry.
So do a social check difficulty
Friend, you
1.
can scream and run.
Awesome.
Well, you go out in the street and
Social-
scream all the time, so they don't know if they believe you.
Oh, I got it.
Oh!
The town is rousing. People are to their windows and starting to throw their chamber pots at the attacking horde, but seemingly to no avail.
Down.
All right. So,
XP mark.
Pivell, is there anything you wish
Yes.
to do while you're heading towards the docks?
So Mars is, you're still locomoting, right? You're still heading towards the dock. You're just screaming, right?
I think I had to stop and turn back, and this is my town, man. You guys go ahead and scout out the moorage. I'm gonna tarry here.
All right, don't tarry too long. We gotta get out of here. So I'm just running full tilt towards the docks because I know that's kind of our only escape here. And I'm gonna scream too. Danger, whatever. I can't think of anything right now, but that the people got to get out and get out of here. It's
okay. So do a social check difficulty 1.
The end of our town, I think. So I'm just screaming like a manic Paul Revere.
So social check difficulty 1.
Okay.
Fire seemed to have quite an effect.
Yeah. Okay, crap, I failed both. I'm going to use a story point to change it to a 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're screaming this as you guys are running towards the dock, and you're running past the city guardsman guardhouse that's in the area. And some guardsmen burst out of the room. What's happening? Where is the enemy?
Down the street, man!
They went that way.
Abraheem.
Okay, so Mars has like planted his dwarfish feet on the ground, standing his ground.
He's a few meters behind you now. You've been running.
Pivell is running forward. This gentleman carrying the box. How far ahead of me is he? Like, is he close enough that I could, in one turn, try to run and lunge for him?
Yeah, you could basically grab him right now. He's that close to you.
Okay, Abraham is going to look back at the orcs or at these creatures following us and say, "This must be a special box." And I'm going to lunge at him and I'm going to try to grab him and grab hold of this thing that he's holding so preciously.
Okay, so it's a physical check, and the difficulty will be 1.
Go, Abraheem, go.
Yeah, go Abraheem. Roll him up.
Abraheem.
Ha ha! Yes.
Okay, so you tackle this guy, and he goes crashing to the ground. No! And the box just goes dunk, dunk, dunk down the road towards the docks. We'll all be doomed. What are you doing? So the city guards people are coming out, and they're like, "It's the sage. Why does the sage have the box?"
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So, Mars, you are steadfast standing there with a horde of now about 55 orcs and 5 ogres are coming towards you. From the side comes a well-armored knight on a horse, and sort of the horse steadies in front of you, and this knight's, "You shall not pass, assholes!" So the other guards people that were coming from behind are now rallying to this guy and they are surrounding your position, and you now have them between you and the orcs and the ogres. What do you want to do?
Do we have any women and children that are getting out of the town heading for the docks, or?
You hear around you hear a lot of screams and, squelching noises and cries for help and cries for mommy.
Okay, I'm going to have to rely on Pivell and Abraheem, who I know are heroic gentlemen based on their drinking appetites. I have to hold the line. We have to get the people out of the town, at least as many as we can. So, again, I will, as Abraheem has said, plant my dwarven boots. Let them come.
So you are
50 of them.
So you have.
That's what it takes. But we have to get as many of us out of here as we can. We can't just flee on our own. That's unacceptable.
So you have your crook, and you're standing there with the rest of the guardsmen. And some of them are doing a bit of a sideways glance and sort of mutter under their breath, "The bravery of this dwarf." I'm going to give you 1 story value point, which is an experience point story value, which also gives you 1 story value token that you can use only for this session. So, Pivell, you reach the docks. And you reach the docks. It's not very well lit. And there are several large fishing boats, but down the end you do see a single rowboat that you feel you may actually be able to, maneuver on your own.
Control, right. How far ahead am I of the box that went rolling down?
The box is basically has rolled and has is now at rest on the dock itself.
The dock itself? Okay.
Yeah.
So how close am I to it?
A couple of feet.
Okay. So I scream at the guy. I grab the box.
Yeah.
And I scream at the guy, "What's this? What is this box? What is it? Why are they after this box?"
"It's our only hope. We need to get it to the fortress."
"Why?"
Busy trying to kick Abraheem off. It's the only thing that can save us.
Scotty, you're the best.
It's the only thing that can save us from this horde.
So where's the fortress?
Out in the bay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I quickly yell to my friends, my drinking buddies, Abraheem and Mars, get over here. We need to get this to the fortress. I'm like, Mars, you fool. You can't fight these guys.
Right. Abraham.
So Abraham gets up, kind of gives this sage a look of like, sorry. Pulls his shovel off his back and looks at Mars and says, Mars, I would like to share many more drinks with you, and I don't think that's happening if you face this horde. And I say we make haste, and I start heading towards Pivell and the dog.
Okay. Do a social check, difficulty 1.
Is he convincing me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So your character is, you feel convinced by the story. Now, you don't have to follow it, but you do feel very convinced by what he has said.
Right.
It'd be kind of a conflict of,
Correct.
you know, are you going to follow your friend or are you going to stay here and...
While Mars is considering his position, the librarian has gotten to his feet and is heading towards Pivell, and while looking back towards the rank of soldiery that has started to appear.
Are there any innocents who have found their way to boats?
Not that you can tell, no.
Oh, man. That's not good. I don't know if we can just walk away from a town being annihilated so we can save ourselves.
I'm a gravedigger and you're a sheep herder.
Why, sir?
How much have you been
chosen
drinking?
a humble life?
Your shitter.
I'll not change my principles now simply because 50 ogres are running my way.
That's the drink talking. Get your ass over here.
Barely keep track of 50 sheep. How
Here's
can
the
you
deal.
keep track of
At
50
least
ogres?
one innocent has to get themselves on a boat before I will move these feet.
You've never even seen an ogre and an orc. Get your ass over here.
How do you know the sage himself is not an innocent?
Do you guys want to
That's
live?
really big and mean.
You want to live imagining the dead women and children of Tilverton for the rest of your lives, or do you want to stand here?
I will bury them when I get home, but if I don't get out of here, nobody's going to bury them. What are you going to do with all these bodies if there's no gravedigger? They're going to rot and they're going to smell. Do you want to smell? That's how you get a smell.
I'll not be the first Tilvertonian on a boat.
So while this is happening, the orcs and the guards have engaged with one another, and limbs, heads, weapons are flying asunder. You essentially have moments to make a decision as to whether to run or to die.
Does it look like the guards are going to be overwhelmed?
They are pretty much already overwhelmed.
Okay, there you go.
Ah, God, it's against everything I believe in.
I know, but sometimes you have to make that hard choice, you know?
So the guy on the horse who has chopped the limbs off several orcs and cut the head off an ogre has ended up on the ground, and he's bleeding, and he's done for. And he coughs up blood in your direction and says, "Get the librarian to the fucking fortress, will you?" And then,
On that, I'll nod.
dies.
That was
Can
the
I
10th
take his
sign that
weapon
you should
from him
leave.
and deal a final stroke in his honor? Lend me your sword, dead man,
So
and
you
I'll
can- you
finish
can
your
pick-
vengeance once and for
You
all.
can pick up his sword if you like.
I will, and I'll make one strike before I flee.
Okay.
I won't just run away from my own damn town without swinging a sword at least once.
So you can attack one orc, and because of the amount of allies that you have, your combat
also
score
throw a
is
story
6,
point
so
at
you
it.
get D4s.
Can I throw a story point at it for D2s?
Correct? You have a sword.
I know nothing about swords.
Correct.
So I'm sitting on 1D2, right?
Correct.
Come on. Oh, my goodness. It's a sword. It's a sword.
So you successfully thrust the sword into the chest of a...
I'll take my hand off it and leave it in the beast.
The orc is like... as it gets sort of, pulled back into the horde, it sort of falls back and gets trampled to death by its own allies.
God, somebody drag me out of here.
So you turn and start running, and you can feel the swooshing of falchions behind you, attempting to slash your back, but they are not reaching you. Okay, Pivell.
Okay, so the librarian got back up, right? And he's heading towards us,
heading
towards
to
me?
the boat that you were looking at.
Okay, the boat could fit all four of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm screaming at Mars, trying to get his ass over here. And I see that Abraheem is still running towards me, so I'm cool with that. And the librarian, I think, well, probably we should take this librarian because he can tell us what the hell this thing is, since we're that smart and we don't know what it is. So, yeah, I'm just kind of trying to get the boat ready as well as I know how. Like, I got the rope undone, but it's like, I'm still holding the end of the rope, so it's pulled up against the dock, but I could just let it go, and then the boat would kind of
So
back.
In the boat, there are 2 oars.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a box that has some like fishing tackle and that kind of stuff in it. And obviously you've got the rope that it's tethered to the thing, and you're kind of just holding on to that rope. It has been released from the dock. Okay. Abraheem.
Where did this box actually end up in all this kerfuffle?
Pivell has it. He's placed it.
I threw it in the boat.
He's got it.
You have it. Okay. I am like Abraheem at this point just grabs Mars by the scruff of his neck and just starts dragging him, and he's much heavier than this skinny old gravedigger, but he just starts to try to drag him and make haste towards the boat where Pivell is.
Okay, so you pile into the boat with Mars, and Pivell, I assume you release the rope.
Mm-hmm.
So the fighting continues down to the docks, and the guardsmen are attempting to make a valiant stand, but you can see that they are vastly outnumbered and are being completely decimated.